Hello, everyone. Welcome to IARF 5-Minute Focus, discussions with leaders in disability services. I am IARF President and CEO Josh Evans, and today we are joined by Aspire's President and CEO, Jim Kales. Jim, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, Josh. Excited to be here with you.
Very excited to have you. As you know, Jim, it's 5-Minute Focus. It's rapid fire where we try to maximize the time to hear from you. And so our first question is, and these are similar questions for all CEOs we have the opportunity to interview. Tell us a little more about what Aspire does.
Sure. Aspire, our focus is inclusion for people with disabilities. How do we do that? There's many ways, job programs, residential programs, but the whole idea of Aspire is to get people with disabilities included. We are operating in Chicagoland and now southern Wisconsin, and we're fired up about this. It's a challenging environment, but we think the community or the world is ready for this idea of including people with disabilities. Our tagline says it all. Our tagline is "Together, we're better." We believe when we bring people with and without disabilities together, it's not just the person with autism who's working at his first job who wins, but it's the company he's working at that wins. And we help someone with Down syndrome to live in the community for the first time. It's not just that young woman that wins, but her neighbors win too. So we really believe that inclusion benefits everybody. That is why we're here.
Thanks, Jim. And I think you've led into this next part in terms of, the what you do, what is the why that you do? Why is what Aspire does important to healthy communities, and where you're at in Chicago and in southern Wisconsin?
Well, as I was saying, I think the world is ready for this now. And I've seen this shift. I've been at Aspire for 14 years, but I've seen an incredible shift over the last decade in the number of companies that come to us that say, yep, we get it. We want to include people with disabilities, autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy into our workforce. We see organizations come to us, museums. We work with the Harris Museum downtown and a number of other big museums saying we want to include kids and adults with disabilities into our organizations, our museums, on our workforce level, but also including them as customers. How can we do that? So part of what we do is, we operate services like employment services. We also act as like a consultant to teach organizations. We do now web courses to teach companies and other organizations, how do you include people with disabilities? Because and it's so important because, again, the world is ready for this, but sometimes people don't know how to do it. So they say, look, I know it's important, and we know we've heard about the benefits of hiring people with disabilities, but where do we start and how do we start? And that's what we're good at.
Jim, I really appreciate how you framed that because a lot of effort has gone into in Illinois and will continue to go into, from the provider side, how do we expand supported employment, community-based employment opportunities, job coaching, discovery, but that broader corporate, I'll just say, culture of the need to embrace the importance and understand, the benefits for the organization, but society as a whole of employing people with disabilities, I think, is important as we go on this trajectory. And it's great to hear that Aspire is leading from the front in terms of working with businesses and companies on that. So lastly, Jim, as you know, our Illinois General Assembly is in session, and they're going to need to pass a state budget for fiscal year 22 by the end of May. What can the General Assembly do to try to further help what Aspire is doing?
Great question. We're all struggling. Aspire and all of our sister agencies across Illinois are struggling with, I would say it's a chronic issue of underfunding. We talk about this with our board all the time. We show them the charts of looking at Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, Iowa, Ohio. We are way below what we fund for funding people with disabilities to be included in the community, right? That's what we're talking about, is we fund about half the rate of other states. We've got to get that higher. So we're working with IARF. We're thrilled to be a part of IARF, to be a part of that coalition, to fight for this, because we're seeing it in, for example, the turnover in our agency and all of our sister agencies is so high, 30, 40, 50%. It has such an impact on the people we serve and their ability to be included. We've got to turn that around, and we think this session is the time to do it.
That's excellent, Jim. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us today, telling us more about Aspire. We greatly appreciate it. We love having you guys as a member, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much, Josh. Good luck.
Take care.